So, what's your name and where you're currently based?
My name is Ken Berwood, and I am from Boston.
Beautiful. So, Ken, prior to joining WCA, what would you say was the biggest challenge or problem that you were facing, and how was that affecting you?
I've always been have very low self-esteem. I think very lowly of myself. I'm always attacking myself in my head. And it's been that way for decades. I know that I let my fears control me. And I know that, like, I'm not, a lot of things we say, hey, you're learning these things. Is like, yeah, I've known a lot of this stuff for a long time, and I still let it happen. So I've always been very upset with myself for it, and that just the cause of the self-esteem. But yeah, self-esteem, self-confidence, thinking that, I don't deserve what I have, because it's like, well, I just had to work really hard for it. It should have been easier. People just don't realize that, like, type of thing. And I was doing much better in LMA stuff with the videos, and also my TikTok videos. Not just those and all those things. Back in the winter and spring, and then when I had that, we were talking, but I had that thing where I just saw one of my videos, and I just had this very deep, painful, cutting impression that there's just something. I knew I'm awkward sometimes. I stutter a little bit, but I was like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. But when I saw that, and I saw it in myself, I'm like, there's something. It just hit me that one time of, there's something intrinsically wrong with me that's unfixable, and that you knew how much that hurt me, and I was trying to fight through that, and that was half a year ago now. That was May, and it was still affecting me up until I got here. I almost didn't come here. But I just didn't know what else to do, and I was like, I'll go, and I didn't want to let Anya down. It's like, because she's like you have an experience, a chance that you're not going to get. Don't give up before you've gone. And so I think that I don't know if I would have come if I still would have pushed. I probably would have, because I just tend to just drift into whatever's already in line. But I might have not come if so. I think she did help me. But I don't know for sure, but I think it helped. But yeah, that has been the biggest thing, is the very deep self-worth thing and everything.
And now I'm looking at you. You're all smiling. You're dancing. You're recommitting. So tell me, for you specifically, what would you say surprised you the most or made you the happiest about being here?
Well, I'm surprised that I allowed myself to relax again. Because I didn't think. I knew that what you saw me doing and everything is back in the fall in the videos, and you've always had faith in me. You've seen more in me than what I've seen in myself, or rather, yeah. I forgot what I was saying.
What made you the happiest about being here?
That I don't know, I shouldn't waste time. The fact that I was able to open up and connect with it. Oh, and reconnect with that, because you saw that. And when that thing where that had made me withdraw and recoil, and my therapist had even said, he's like, you were almost there. It's like, you took a big step back. It was like a massive step back. I'm like, I don't feel like I was almost there. But I didn't think that even over several months, I wasn't in as deep of a depression. It's still probably there, but going too long into this. The fact that I reconnected to that, because at this point, I didn't think I knew that technically, sure, there's something in there, but I didn't think I was going to be able to reconnect, because I'm afraid of myself, and I didn't think that my internals were going to let me connect. So that's made me happy, and I very much greatly appreciate that you called me and had me come back when I left on Tuesday and walked all the way down the mountain, and my legs are still sore from that. It was a good workout. Honestly, I probably needed to get that out of my system, because I'd run away from things before. Yeah. And I thank you. Thank you very much for believing in me and not giving up on me, and just asking me to come back. And if you just come back, and I think it probably, if I hadn't, I'm glad I did that, because maybe it helped in a certain way. Yeah, but I'm happy that I actually danced. Yes.
You did.
You were waiting for that, weren't you? I just remembered that. I wanted to dance for years, and people are saying, it's like, oh, you said you couldn't dance. I'm like, it's not that I didn't have. I have seen people dance before, like at weddings, not too often. When I was in college, at my last semester, I actually took some dance lessons, group things, but they were very organized, and I had to push myself a lot to do that. But I've never freely danced. And I just it was a little bit, and then that was it. But I've been at weddings, and I've seen people dancing and just enjoying themselves. And like I said, when I watch people or when I do it, I feel like I'm doing something bad by watching or by showing, because of the showy stuff. But I see people, and I know that people are just enjoying their bodies and enjoying the energy and just finding joy for the sake of finding joy. And it has always looked lovely to me. I've always wanted to join in, but I've always been like, you saw me. I was literally locked up, and my brain's and terrified of it, and feeling like I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, so it's not that I didn't, and I wasn't sure if I could even move, because I'm like, if I can't relax, and even that first time when I got up there, and I think it was it Charlene that was next to me, I think. She was telling me to get out of your head. I'm like, but I need to, I see people are doing things. I have to be able to try to coordinate and like even move my things, because I had to think about what I was doing. But I think that was part of the being able to then later on, when people were doing stuff, it was like a little bit during one of the things where they weren't really dancing, but like they were going around in a circle, and then a little bit of dancing as well. And then when we got the other things, that like each one helped me to be able to connect with that and kind of understand that and stuff. And so I'm very happy that I actually did that and just enjoyed that, because I'm a very high energy person when I can relax. And even when I'm not relaxed, I'm high energy. It's just this energy is in there.
So on that note then, because I have seen you dancing voluntarily, so for you, what would you say overall was maybe the biggest shift or aha moment or breakthrough that you have experienced in those 4 days?
I have said that I don't experience emotions in my body so much. I still, even with this, is like a lot of times like I'm doing these things. I mean, I'm happy, but I just know that I'm happy. I don't have any special feeling. And, I've said I haven't had any tears. There actually was one time I could feel a little bit of tears in my eyes, but I don't remember what it was for. But I've seen people like breaking down and having these emotions and like from just the primal scream thing. And for me, it was just like, it's just an action. I don't feel anything. But realizing when I was doing the identity and it actually, the first time, it was, I didn't know how to channel it. Being there and trying to, in the audience, because even at that point, I was still sitting there thinking, why aren't you sending me home? You should be sending me home. But being in the audience and trying to help give people encouragement, and especially toward some of the other people who also, like me, had been struggling to get there, and like I became invested in that, and I was trying my best to like give small signals, and once in a while I'd say something to them, and that helped me to understand how I might do it myself. But the biggest thing was I realized that I don't need that need to have some special feeling in there, and we're all different too, but if I can focus the intent that I'm trying to get across, and keep that in mind, and like with the self-identity, remembering I'm supposed to be talking to myself, I'm not trying to convince others, I'm trying to but I knew that, even though I didn't think of a new one, I remembered up in my head my other identity thing. I'm like, well, let me look through this and see, is this still true? I'm like, even though I was sitting there going, I don't know if I still want to be a coach, I want to set up some time to talk, I need some advice. That's some of my quantum leap goals, I need some advice. I shouldn't be messing with that. But I forgot what I was saying. I realized that I looked at, I remembered it. I was like, okay, this is all still true, even if I don't go coaching thing, which is still I don't know. I probably should. But I was like, but that part about wanting to help others is still true, because there's a whole range of like some small ways. Like, so yes, it's all still true. So that's why I was like, this is still a true self-identity. And what I had just, when I was trying to convey it, I knew that when I wrote it a year ago and then said it again in January, it was sincere. I knew that even though I don't have an emotional memory, I can't bring back an emotion, re-experience it. I do know the fact, I know it was sincere. So what I was trying to do when I presented and was doing the self-identity, kept reminding myself, I'm trying to show the sincerity in with which I knew that it was made, even if I was still in a bad headspace right then. And I mean, that help, giving other people encouragement was helping me to get out of that some too. And I was in a good mood at the end of that day, and stuff. But I think that was the biggest thing of just knowing that I don't need to look for some special thing. It's just if I stay focused and know what am I trying to convey, I can convey that. It's because it's about knowing how your voice is affecting and just being and just trying to be, it's sincerity and keeping that. And if I'm trying to convey something else, it's like, okay, well, just this is what it is. I can guide myself to that.
And you helped other people to do that too. Like I really saw
People.
that. So one last thing before, because I hear somebody's already ready.
Yeah.
For people that are watching this video, maybe they also see the dancing and the crying and everything in between, and they're like, what the hell is this all about? What would you say to that person that's currently on the fence whether they should come here or not?
I'm talking to them, so I'm going to look over there. Toma knew this. You knew this. When I saw the videos of the WCA stuff last year, I told Toma that this was triggering me. And it's like, I don't feel bad about that, but it's just like, when I saw it, I saw people acting and being energetic and outgoing. And I was like, this isn't me. I know that my fears always keep me from doing that. And so it's like, even though I felt good for the people, I was just like, but I could never do that. If I was there, I would close up and then I would feel like I was bringing it down. And then when we had the live LMA and it got to the point where my mind was telling me, you should do this. I'm like, what? No, I know that this is not going to be. So my advice is, you might see that and you might think, I could never be like that. I could never do that because my fears control me. But if somewhere inside, we always know there's somewhere, when we're not following our own potential and following what our hearts want, we know it inside. This is what leads to the self-esteem problems when it keeps happening. But in somewhere inside of you feeling that, hey, I think I need this, but this looks like something I'm going to close up to. Do it. Listen to your heart and take that step. Don't let the anxiety hold you back. And the past half year, I've been having a hard time. I was sitting there going, I shouldn't do this. It's like, this isn't going to do me any good, because I know that I've been keeping myself from reconnecting, because I'm terrified that, well, even if I do reconnect, my demons are going to attack me again, and it's going to go down. But I still came, and I almost left. I left in the middle of day 2, before the middle. It was not even lunchtime, and I was like, I was so triggered by myself, and I walked down the mountain for over an hour. And I was planning to go back and call the airport and see if I could get my flights changed to go home. And Toma very lovingly got me to come back. And she's like, but don't let that, even if you back off and you've been having ups and downs, you can get back to where you were. And it's not about if you've ever failed, it's about how you go about this, and that it's never too late, and you can reconnect and just keep trying to take those risks, and don't listen to that part of you that the anxiety and the fear is not your enemy. It can help you, and you will be happier if you do that. I've known this.